New Year, same dreams. But this time, you raise emotional standards. This video is not about doing more. It's not about waking up at 5 am, hitting 10k steps, or setting a new goal. It's about something deeper. Every year, we do the same thing. New planner, new apps, new intentions. This year, you don't need more self-discipline. You need emotional standards that protect your peace like your life depends on it. If you're tired of over-explaining, peacekeeping, and self-erasing, you are in the right place. Let's begin. We have been taught to set goals as if they are compass of the success. Write it down, make it smart, put it on the vision board. But here is the problem. Goals don't work if they come from a wounded place. If you are setting a goal to be more consistent, but if you are ignoring the exhaustion underneath, if you are chasing discipline, it's really self-punishment with a prettier name. That's self-abandonment. I once ghosted my needs to feel accepted by someone who vanished. I tried to lose weight just to earn a little love. Cut my hair 3 times in the span of 8 months just to feel seen, and ended up gaining weight after all the efforts. Research in behavioral psychology shows that when goals are tied to avoidance-based motivation, like avoiding shame, failure, or judgment, they are far less likely to stick. But what do most of us do? We set goals based on what we think we should be, not who we truly are. And when you fail to meet them, you don't just feel disappointed, you feel defective. Every time you write be better, your inner child hears you are the problem or you're still not enough. That's why most goals don't feel empowering. They feel heavy, urgent, shame-soaked, because they are not rooted in safety, they are rooted in fear. And that's the real cost. You end up measuring your worth by how well you performed, not how deeply you honored yourself. Every January becomes another cycle of emotional whiplash. Trying harder, shaming deeper, convincing yourself that this time will be different if you just push harder. But hustle without healing creates the same emotional exile, because the truth is, a goal that disconnects you from your emotional reality is not self-help, it's self-gaslighting. So what if this year, instead of setting goals about what you will do, you set emotional standards about how you will feel, how you will be treated, and what you will never again tolerate in silence. Because real transformation doesn't begin with effort, it begins with self-regard. Emotional standards are not the rule for others, they are agreement with yourself about what you will no longer accept, what you will no longer explain, and what you will no longer sacrifice just to feel temporarily chosen. They sound like this: I don't explain my boundaries to earn approval. I don't stay where my spirit shrinks. I don't abandon myself to avoid discomfort. I don't call it love if it makes me disappear. I don't confuse peace with people pleasing. I don't take fine to keep the energy light. I don't label trauma responses as just who I am. These are not affirmations, they are checkpoints. And the power of emotional standards is that they don't ask you to become someone new. They remind you to stop betraying who you have always been. Dr. Christine Neff's research shows that self-compassion increases motivation and accountability, not laziness. Why, you ask? Because when you feel emotionally safe within yourself, you are less afraid of failure. You are more likely to take healthy risks, to recover quickly, and to walk away from chaos, even when it's familiar. Another study from Stanford found that values-aligned goals are more sustainable because they reduce internal resistance. You don't have to push through when you are pulled by something true. That's the power of alignment over force. Self-respect then becomes foundation for all meaningful change. Not a reward you earn at the end, but a condition you need at the start. That's what emotional standards do. They shift entire equation. Till last year, my goals used to say, I need to change so I can be loved. But now my emotional standards say, I love myself so I no longer tolerate harm in emotional disguise. They are not metrics you track. They are lines you no longer cross. They don't measure how far you have come. They protect how deeply you belong to yourself. Because at the end of the day, the strongest boundary isn't the one you set with others. It's the one you keep with yourself. This is the year you stop performing worthiness and start protecting it. And that single shift changes everything else. This year, you stop asking, what do I need to achieve? And start asking, what I am no longer available for. Because healing doesn't always sound like softness. Sometimes it sounds like walking away. Not out of anger, but out of clarity. Sometimes it sounds like a clear, grounded no. This year, you are no longer available for relationships that demand your silence to survive, conversations where your quiet is mistaken for compliance, apologizing for choosing rest over overextension, hustling to earn love that should have been free, doing emotional labor you never consented to, shrinking in spaces you once dreamed of entering, explaining your word to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, staying loyal to inconsistency just to avoid loneliness, and giving second chances to red flags with prettier packaging. You are no longer living in reaction to your pain, but you are building from your power. Maybe it started the day you realized you weren't tired. You were tired of pretending, tired of smiling through discomfort, tired of being the emotional shock absorber for people who never asked how you were. One study found that women carry over 70% of household emotional labor, even in dual income homes. But emotional labor isn't just about chores. It's about consistently managing the energy in the room while ignoring the storm inside your own body. Here, you are not cleaning other people's chaos to feel safe. You are choosing peace over performance. You are no longer proving your softness is valuable. You are building a life where it's honored. You don't hustle for emotional crumbs. You sit at the table where your soul is fed. You don't beg for bare minimums. You become unavailable for love that empties you. You protect your peace not as a luxury but as a baseline. Because burnout was never the goal and peace was never supposed to feel like privilege. And most importantly, you don't fold your identity to avoid being too much. You expand into your wholeness because being full of yourself was never the problem. It was forgetting who you really are. Healing isn't always graceful. Sometimes it's messy, awkward, radical. Sometimes it's grieving the version of you who tolerated too much just to feel safe. Sometimes it means waking up and realizing you were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong people. This is what it means to raise your emotional standards. Not to become cold, but to become clear. You don't need permission to stop tolerating what drains you. You don't need another breakdown just to justify your boundaries. You don't need to be on the verge of collapse to finally say, this isn't working for me. You just need a moment like this to decide, I am done. I am no longer available for life that costs me my self-respect. I don't need to hustle for my peace. I get to protect it. I chose to become unavailable for anything less than emotional safety. Take a breath. This isn't about hype. It's about home, coming back to yourself. And don't worry, I have linked these affirmations in the description for free to download. Repeat after me or let these words settle into your nervous system like truth you forgot you knew. I am no longer shrinking to fit into rooms I have outgrown. I am expanding into the fullness of who I am. I stopped chasing closure from people who never wanted clarity. My peace isn't up for negotiation. I don't soften my boundaries so they are easier to swallow. I don't abandon myself just to feel chosen. I choose me first. I don't apologize for feeling deeply. Sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's guidance. I don't perform strength by pretending I'm fine. I'm strong because I tell the truth, even when it's messy. Rest isn't a reward, it's a requirement. I don't track progress by productivity anymore. I track it by how calm my body feels. I don't accept love that costs me myself. I choose connections where I don't shrink, explain, or audition. I don't stay quiet to keep things nice. I speak even if my voice shakes. I don't confuse stability with safety. My intuition isn't a whisper, it's the voice I live by. And I am done making my dreams smaller to fit someone else's comfort. I expand on purpose because my desires were never random, they were meant for me. This is the year I live like it's non-negotiable. I don't just protect my peace, I design my life around it. I don't just survive, I come home. This is not a glow up, it's a return, a reclamation. I don't have to earn my healing, I just have to stop giving myself away. I don't rise by force, I rise by truth. And that's more than enough. You don't need more goals. You need more self-respect. You don't need another plan. You need peace that doesn't require your performance. Because the truth is, your life doesn't change when you try harder. It changes when you stop tolerating what hurts you. When you stop betraying yourself to maintain a connection. When you stop shrinking to be respectable. When you stop mistaking survival for strength. This year, you don't chase a new version of you. You return to the one you buried beneath fear and performance. You come home to the version of you who always knew you were never too much. You were just too wise for the wrong rooms. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop abandoning who you have always been. So take this with you. Your boundaries are sacred. Your nervous system matters. Your softness is not your weakness. Your peace is not up for negotiation. This year, you're not setting goals. You're setting emotional standards. And that shift, it changes everything. If this spoke to your soul, hit like, subscribe, and send it to someone who needs it. And don't forget to download the affirmations to rewire your emotional standards. Because the new year doesn't ask you to grow up. It asks you to wake up. This year, we don't just rise. We return to power, to peace, to ourselves.